All right, welcome back again. I'm just gonna kind of show you how I closed in the walls on my carport for, we'll say definitely a budget, but might not be an option for you, but it worked perfect for me right now. So we'll start on the outside just to do a quick walk around, and then we'll come back in here and I'll explain more with the walls and the framing and also with the doors here. And we'll go out there. Okay, so we're gonna start out here on the outside. So this, again, is a Versatube carport, and I chose to do a budget way of closing in the walls, which was just using OSB. I mean, it's not even completely finished yet. I still actually have to button up some of these, so some of the joints aren't perfect, so don't critique me too hard on this. And then I also, in my case, it's against the house, so I tried to keep, there's a gap there, so I flashed it to the house. Again, don't critique me too hard on it. Very cheap, just roll of flashing. I bought at Home Depot, and then I just kind of did the best I could to trim the siding and tuck it up behind the siding. That way, once water would land on it, it's not going to go behind it, whatnot, and push it all out onto the roof or down the side here. And my carport is actually slanted this way some, so even when it rains or snows and it melts or runs off, it actually will run the whole way out. So a little bit on that, but you can see even with the OSB on here, I actually did get a coat of paint on it. I actually have some heavy duty decking coating and stuff on the bottom edges and stuff that was going to be in contact with the ground or near it, just to try and preserve it longer. This is by no means a permanent way of doing this, but at the time this was, my budget. I just wanted to do something better than, this. So this is the door. Actually just did. This was how it, this was actually part of it, and I pretty much just cut a hole, threw some hinges on it, and handle, and then I had to put a little piece up there and cut away the roof. Most people probably wouldn't do this on their brand new carport, cut away this roof here, but I plan to make an awning of some sort. But I just want to show you everybody this side here with the door, and again, just the OSB here continued around. Same thing, flashed everything to the house, and there would be gap in here, where wind and whatnot could still make its way in there, but I'll show you once I go on the inside how I dealt with that. So let's go in again. Can't so inside here, since this isn't really exposed anymore, I was already missing siding just from past summer with tornadoes and stuff. We had to give them a sample. Anyways, yeah, so let's see up there. The flashing's in place. It all stays dry there. I still have not, we'll say it's venting right now out at the top, which is not a problem. No moisture, no water, nothing comes in this way. Eventually I'll handle that. I haven't really decided how I'll do it, but I will eventually. So here, foam board insulation that they sell at Home Depot. I have a bunch of it laying around, so I just cut out, I made some measurements and I just cut out the pieces I needed to fit it in place, because this isn't parallel with each other, so I kind of had to custom fit pieces. And I even did that for the siding. And then you see, just did spray foam, and I ended up spray foaming the whole way down that seam for the OSB. Just took 2x4, ran it between each of these trusses, the frame, and that pretty much held up the midpoint, or not midpoint, but most of the sheet up higher. So I got screws in from the outside, and wherever I could, I put screws in through the OSB to the frame. And in this case, I didn't have access to the bottom. Some spots on the inside, I used brackets like that. And you can see some remnants of that decking and stuff, or that coating that I used there. just so whatever was in contact with the ground, it had a better chance of holding up. Definitely could have framed all this in like you normally would a wooden wall or like a shed. Could have done that, but this was using the least amount of wood as possible. And even doing this up here, the gable, I could have framed this in, I would say like normal, but I chose what I thought was the cheapest route. So I just did two by 16s, 2x4 by 16s. You know, I cut them to length once they met in the middle, and then I got a bracket tied all in, and then it's kind of sandwiched in with the OSB on the front and some of the other stuff here on the inside. And it's actually pretty good. I was afraid it was going to move around like this, but once I got everything tightened down and got some brackets and reinforcements and stuff, it stiffened up quite a bit. And then I also had a bunch of gaps up here. That's just normal. That's part of the carport in general. So same as before with the other wall over there, just spray foam insulation. It's pretty easy. Those cans are like $6. Did that. This side I actually have to finish doing. So this side's still kind of like in progress. I was using scraps at one point of just, you know, this wood here to close in this wall. That's why I got other scraps that I used to tie the pieces together. I still got to do the spray foam insulation on the top. That's all I got to do on this side. I did this wall as well with the gap there. I also have this bracket. It just kind of helps hold it against the house. Although I will say we've already had some good windstorms, and this carport doesn't even move compared to the old homemade one I had. I wanted an entry door because I knew I was going to close in the front here. So I just wanted something easy. Just used the existing paneling that was here. And I pretty much just started building a door frame. And I mimicked the size of this frame is about the size of the frame that holds that. So ideally, in the future, when I want to upgrade, I could buy one of those, you know, pre-assembled doors and frames and everything, and I could slide it right into this frame. But I don't know if I ever will. I just wanted to have the option and not have to worry about messing with it. And I know that's not how you frame a door, and ideally, but this was, again, cheap and made of scraps. Because this is just two pieces, but I have it actually bolted into the frame. And then, you know, just went to Walmart, bought the cheapest door handle, and that's it. Locks, just all I need. And it's nice because I can close this in as a workshop, whatever I'm doing at the time. I can heat it with my propane, you know, my torpedo heater. And I don't have to lose all my heat by opening these doors when someone comes in or out. That's why I wanted this. That's really nice. That and keeping these big doors closed. I like to keep them kind of secure. You know, I know it's SB. If someone wants in, they'll just break the stuff, but kind of secure anyways with my drop pins. All right. These doors, when it came time to make a door here, this hole from the inside of this frame to the inside of that metal frame, it's like 21 and a half or like 21. Yeah, it's like 21 and a half feet. So I was trying to think of a way that made sense to me to have, I wanted two doors. And I know I wasn't going to go out and buy garage doors or roll-ups or anything and frame that in. That's way too much money. Pretty much I built these up like just big shed doors. So one big shed door, and I basically built another one, hinged it, and it's got that rail system outside, and it basically works as a giant bifolding door, like your closet door, if you have one of those. But that's the way I thought of it, and that made sense to me just because I thought that was the cheapest way to use a rail system and make doors. I was originally going to do two like sliding doors, bypassing doors, so I could essentially take this whole piece and slide it down there if I wanted to, and this whole piece and slide it over here if I wanted to, or slide them both down one end. but then I was gonna need 2 rail systems, and those rails aren't necessarily, they're not really expensive, but if you're doing 2 of them, you know, the cost goes up, and that's you know, that's where I drew the line. I just didn't want to do that right now. Still might do it in the future, but right now this works. All right, hopefully I get this stop swaying. Okay, so I mentioned this drop pin. This is pretty much as simple as it gets as a drop pin. I don't even have a place to put it. It doesn't catch on anything, so usually I just pull it out and I set it somewhere. These will just open up, push on it, and it starts riding the rail in the front as it folds. You don't need to open both. In the summertime I will put it like that. We got that. I see it works out pretty good. And you see it's nice. I can have this all opened up. It works for me. This is that rail. There's little brackets that kind of hold it in place. I bought all this stuff at Lowe's. I'll put links in the description. Some of this stuff I actually got from Amazon. You can get it off Amazon, but either way, I'll put links in everything I used here for hardware. And then for the handles, just very simple. Even this still might change. I just wanted something on here. Frozen. And actually put a lock on it if I want. So let me close these out and show you what that looks like. I'm just gonna deal with the cars being here. Like I said, it's still an experiment. Probably still need a handle sometime here. Should get it to here. I have a piece of 2x4 up inside here that acts as the kind of the stop. I can do this. I can throw my lock on. There's still a lot to do here, but for the most part, this is pretty basic and it'll function the way I need it right now. And since we're out here, off I think Amazon, I just got some cheapy wall lights. And then those ones up there. This one here, this one works great because as soon as you open this door and all that, there's so much light off this one, it's perfect. And then close this, all good. Some of this stuff, like this here, this was all built out of basically scrap. Sometimes you just get it, like where I work, if you just ask. We had an old crate at work, I asked if I could have it and take it home. So that's what I did because I knew it had some 2x4x10 pieces, and I still have a couple left. And that helped me build the door and frame and everything, which is how I try to do, you know. And then the other thing, they already noticed I got lights up in here. These are nothing special. I know a couple of these are really cheap lights I got from a local hardware store. They were like $10 or $15 a piece. And then these other ones up here, I was trying to match them whenever I was able to kind of have funds to just buy a couple more here and there. But I just bought the Harbor Freight ones. And I still have 2 more I gotta put up, and I gotta spread these ones out. But these work great. Yeah, in the future, I'll do another video once I get this actually set up as a shop, because right now it's not. It's just stuff thrown in here and kind of moved out of the way. And I've just been doing things as I can. But I got some toolboxes I gotta get out here. I got one I gotta mount on the wall. I got my workbench. Yeah, I gotta do everything. So I guess when it comes to everything I just show you, the main question, you know, how much did this cost me to close in the carport, put my doors on, and that one there? And what it ended up being is it's not exact, but like with hardware, as in all the screws and bolts, everything I have into this is probably around 650 bucks. I think that's about what I had calculated. So that's for all the wood, all the hardware, the hinges, all the screws, everything that went into it. And some of the stuff, as I said, I had laying around, so I try to repurpose stuff as I can. But I hope this helps. Someone that's looking to close in the carport or something, maybe even repair their shed, and they're kind of wondering how much it might cost. You know, who knows? But it's kind of the same general idea. If you were looking for a more permanent way of doing it, I wouldn't recommend this because it's OSB only, so you got to do more to it if you want to make it permanent. But I think it's a good, cheap method, and that way you can kind of figure out what you want to do in the future as your permanent solution. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for this video for now. Like I said, in the future, I'll do another one about how I get this all set up and what that'll look like, organization and all that stuff. You know, if you enjoyed what you saw in the video today, I'd appreciate a like. For future videos of content like this, or even once I jump back on the truck here, you know, hit the notification button so that way you don't miss it. And then obviously, if you're not subscribed already, I'd really appreciate you subscribing. And other than that, that's it. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.